Come on. Greetings, my people. Greetings, my people. Today is Sunday, March 31st, 2024, 5:33 p.m. And I ain't gonna be long with you today. I know I always say that, but I'm gonna try not to be long today. This really came to me off something that it really came from also from a conversation with a friend. But I titled this like recognizing love. And I guess, in this question, or in that statement of like recognizing love, what does it look like? Right? What does it look like? And I can remember being with an ex, and she had such a hang up about my condition, even though she stayed in the relationship, right? She had such a hang up about my condition that she, how can I say, it's like she wrestled with her emotions of how to feel about my physical, right? She could accept my mental, she could accept, and this is the problem that I get a lot of times. She could accept my mental, she could accept everything else, but it was adjusting to that physical, right? Fair game, I guess. And I can remember asking her one time when she was wrestling and going through these things, like, what does love look like? Like, how is love supposed to look? And she said she really didn't know. And so I basically say that to say, um, we put such physical like limitations on love, right? And love is like God and like spirit. It can't be really defined. You can define it, but you can't define it. It can't be contained. It can have a package, but it can't be contained to that package, right? And what I mean by that, and I'm teaching my little granddaughter verbs and nouns, and it's a verb, it's an action, and it's also a noun. It's all things encompassed, right? So yeah, there's a fleshly element to it because it has to have a container, a host. A spirit has to have a contain has to have, get it right, a container, right? Is that fair to say? But in that, it's like when we get to the spirit, because we say our soulmate, right? I'm looking for my soulmate, and soul is not fleshly. Equivalent of the spirit is not fleshly. So some things I started to think about and write down. Could it be the challenge that we're not finding love because we're looking for something spiritual just through the flesh? Like, and that doesn't mean like I think because okay, like we always say, masculinity can't be defined, or no, sorry, strength can't be defined just to a man, to a male, right? Because strength is just like spirit. It has a container, but it can't be contained. There's a lot of strong women. There's strong people. Am I making sense? And so in that, like that's saying like we put an image on it because we say, um, we confuse masculine with strong, right? Now there's strengths to your masculinity. Um, but also the same thing with love. What does it look like? And we was having a conversation. It was like also like, because this word get thrown around. Notice a lot of words get thrown around, like emotional intelligence, providing, submissive, submitting. I don't even want to talk about that high value man crap. But it's like, how do how how do we really find what we're looking for? Okay, how do you express, you to the person that's going to come across this video? How do you show your love? Because what happened is, by us being and containing it to a flesh, we begin to put fleshly things and behaviors on it. So now, love is, you can hear people say a person can still love you and cheat on you. No, they can have love for you. Now, this is my opinion, but they can have love for you, right? But can you really say you fully love someone and you hurt them, like you knowingly hurt them, right? So I just want to know, like, and it's like, okay, also with putting that masculine on these things, also, okay, this is where I was going. Like, good men are nice guys, right? The saying nice guys finish last. This has always been like a mantra that has been spoken. Nice guys finish last. Nice guys finish last. Nice, which is losing, right? So the reason we're having a shift in all of these, I don't want to say rebellious males, but it's like I can't help but to call it sassy, but I'm trying to find a better word. Like these men who frown upon love and frown upon their women. Because for so long we have been told nice guys finish last. Because the same thing we asked not to do with mass strength is label it. You did it with nice. So the nice guy is looked at the guy that can't protect, right? The nice guy is looked at as weak. The nice guy is looked at as soft. So a lot of times women aren't prone to pick a male that they look like, that they feel like fit those categories, right? So like we say, we don't want a masculine woman. But at the thing of this, what I'm saying is, because keeping in the theme of the conversation, like what does love look like? Because like I opened up and said, it's actions. It's a treatment. You can love your children and spank them, but you can't love them and beat them. There's difference in the degrees of what you're doing. So you can love your woman and I don't even want to say mistakenly cheat, but I do think there are moments and times that people get caught up, maybe neglect. You may love your wife, she may love her husband, but he's so tied up that he's not showing her love. Because that's the thing with you Negroes. This is what made me irritate me with you Negroes. Like, y'all took one of the greatest songs and Jaheim put that woman first. And you niggas made memes. You niggas said, and I'm saying niggas because I'm talking in the lower level, your lower level energy. You niggas get on the lowest level of energy. And then it became a war. You niggas started wrestling with should you protect and love your woman, right? This is what y'all did. Y'all say, I remember seeing a meme because I always say, images are advertisements to the mind. Images are advertisements for the mind, right? So in this is how the thought process behind these things. There was one meme, and it was the worst image of Jaheim. It looked like his hair was receding. He didn't look a presentable way. And then on the other side, you had Too Short. Now, this is how they've changed how men feel, or males, in this case, I'm talking about niggas, look at love. Follow what I'm saying. And if I'm not making sense, hit in my comments and tell me I'm not making sense. You guys said, this is what happens when you put that woman first versus the nigga that told you to call these women bitches, right? So you males are the example. We are the example. We are the leaders. We are the protectors. This is just what we are. Just like women are the nurturers. There's elements in everything. Remember the laws of Tahuti, polarity. So in that, and going back to saying nice guys finish last, think about from how, this is how the Kevin and Samuels effect was able to work masterfully through relatability, right? No matter what type of dude you've been, you could have been the most strongest, fastest, weakest. We all have felt heartbreak, right? That's fair to say. We all have felt heartbreak. But what happened was, in this, who wants to finish last? Nice guys finish last. Who want to be nice and finish last? So in the element and in the transforming of the frequency and in the mental of how Black masculinity was supposed to be, we started emulating, this is what it looked like. And you didn't even listen to the song Put That Woman First. When you start ignoring her, when you start putting everything else above her, hanging out with your homies, you cats don't want to grow up. And that is the thing that they did when what they did to the Black mind. You guys say stuff like, and I saw a sister having a live yesterday, and she was talking about, and y'all get these talking points from Shahrazad Ali, that Black women, the reason I see it happening all the time on the internet, right? That black women were the reason for black men not being in the home because they gave up the right to have a man in the home for welfare. And that is such a subjective, that is such a, you got to dig into that. Because we got to understand the colonization factor, right? So what were the elements that the black man was taken out of the home? How did they sway our opinion? Right? And in this, you equate it with putting your woman first with we. So I'm asking, keeping in the theme, what does love look like? How must you as males and females, I'm not just talking to my brother, I'm talking to you female, because y'all also have to understand after you get past that flesh, do y'all really pay attention to the type of dudes that y'all pick? Right? And we put such images on what beauty looked like. It was just like the colonizing of God, the image of God, right? They put an image on what it looked like. And when you have that image, you worship that image, or you worship that behavior, or you worship back to Bandura, the what? Model. So Too Short became the model of how we were supposed to treat them. Now, bitch is on the level of nigga, the lowest frequency. Bitches is bitch behavior where she's just a total bitch to her man. She just treats him like shit. She's acting like a bitch. But also, bitch behavior is the lower, like, also with the nigga, like how they use Sexy Red. How she's being used to program our young girls is the same way they use Too Short, saying that to get us, to trick us out of loving our women. They used it through the images. Am I making sense? Because like I said, if I'm not making sense in this video, hit me. Let's have a dialogue. But we must have dialogues about these things. So, and I was also, because I have a lot of, and I have conversations with my people, and I have conversations with another one of my lady friends. She was also saying that a dude approached her, or he kind of told her that he was interested. And he said, you ain't gonna like me because I'm short anyway. And she said the defeated look that he had when he walked away bothered her. And mind you, she's not shallow. She doesn't have a hang up with that. She dates short guys. She said because she just wants a man, but she doesn't waste time putting all of that on what somebody. You have to give people a chance. Basically, I'll put it like that. And then I hear females say y'all don't like a man that lacks self-confidence. But really, and she was also one of the ones, my friend was also one of the ones that said, females, y'all are really complicit and y'all are to blame for this rise of the Kevin Samuels type movement. He was able, because again, what did I say? The relatability. We could all relate to being rejected. We could all relate to being looked over. We could all relate to all of these things that made us. I have cerebral palsy, so I have been treated. I haven't had like successful love. Just see, that's the thing with me. I'm not going to present you with a character. I'm not going to present you. I'm going to give you who I am, because this is just me. I'm sitting and talking and having a conversation. But she said also that women, females, black females, y'all had to look in y'all involvement in the rise of the Kevin Samuels because of, like I just said, that rejection factor. So guys that looked like they began to start acting like dicks. Why? Because the bad guys, the bad boys that y'all picked were the ones that was looking like they were rebellious. They weren't taking no shit. They was treating y'all in any kind of way. Because why do we, and I think it's all a thing, it's not a male or a female thing, but why do we deal with people that treat us terrible? What does love look like? Is this the way that we have interpreted love? That we have to put up with shit? How did our people, I didn't see a loving marriage and relationship with my mom and her husband growing up. I saw people putting up with each other. So how were we introduced to love? That's what I said. That's why this is a like loaded conversation. What does love look like? What does it feel like? And I think that's when I kind of knew, because don't nobody know your relationship like you, right? We can get advice, we can ask our friends, we can ask counselors, we can ask whoever. But nobody knows our relationships like us, right? Nobody knows how we feel like us. And I began to know that this wasn't my person or the woman for me in my last relationship, because love, it didn't feel like how love was supposed to feel. Love is not a woman spending her whole time, a female spending her whole time wrestling over if she could just be with the image of you. Because she loved the essence of me, right? But it does something to your mind, because, like I said, in like images, what do we say? And when we talk about movies, like, okay, The Little Mermaid, when they made Ariel black, what did we say? Representation. What did Slim Thug say when he was defending Diddy? Black representation. So we always, because black representation made us look presentable, made us look like somebody. So, but what happens when there's no disabled representation? Or it looks jacked up, it looks like a radio. Because they control the images of what beauty looks like. That's why you see, what is it, Forbes magazine or whoever, Time magazine, the most handsome person in the world. It's always a Westerner. It's always, most of the time, it's a white person. That's why most of our women bleach their skin. That's a one component of, like, a lot of our sisters, Serena Williams, Little Kim, even, I don't know if these Photoshop images, but Beyonce, from what it's looking like, I don't know. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. This is why our women lighten their skin. Because the standard of acceptability looks like a white woman. Is that fair to say? So what happens when you don't have, what happens when the short man is presented like Kevin Hart? He's made a joke. He's made to look like he can't protect you from a gang of children, because it's comedy. One way to take over your mind is to get you to laugh. So that's how you slide images in. So he began to, and back to what my friend said about the dude approaching her. She said she just felt terrible because he was like, "You're not even gonna like me," and that's because for so long we have been told, looking at that show Balloon Pop, listen to just talking to the average woman, she's always going to say, "I want a man that I can what? Look up to." Cool, fair game, fair game. We got the right to like what we want. But in the essence of giving women back their own doses, or female back their own doses, if men begin to say, "I want somebody I can wrap my arms around," that has to be the requirement. So that's why he looked defeated, because he's been told for years that he's not even acceptable because he's short. Which is why I think about Meg Thee Stallion, and she was kicking it with Tory Lanez, and I saw this video. Now sometimes some of this stuff, because I'm human and I do have a sense of humor, I saw a video of Tory Lanez. I think it was like the day before yesterday, and the internet. This is why they say the internet is undefeated. It was like I think he was like on Sway or something, that he was sitting in the chair and he's rapping, and they was like, the time Tory Lanez stood up, it was still the same height. And when he stood up, he still looked like he still was the same height that he was when he was sitting down. But the fact that Meg Thee Stallion is even confident enough, because she's a tall one, the fact that she's even confident enough to be with him, there isn't a plethora of women. Because I always say, men don't have much to choose from either. Now, when you talk about women being on top of their stuff because of the pecking order, there are more women having jobs. You know, we can debate that stat. But black women have jobs. Black women are more in the position to maintain a household than black males. Is that fair to say? There's a lot of male homosexuals. Women can be homosexuals too, but there's a lot of male homosexuals. Because in the dumbing us down, in my opinion, whose opinion? The dumbing us down, like the Willie Lynch. We was raised not to be able to know how to really do certain things, which is why, in my opinion, a lot of times we're way behind. That's why they say women mature faster, girls mature faster than boys, right? So So just in understanding that she has to be a confident woman. He has to be a confident man. Um, Before I get out of here, my great grandmother, we used to call her Big Mom. And my great granddaddy, this is my grandmother's on my mom's side parents. And we used to call our great granddaddy Papa. And my big mama was like 6 feet tall. My big mama was like 6 feet tall, and she had the longest. She is what actually, if I keep the bread fresh, she would be considered, and if you looked at her features, as Native American, right? Now, don't start with the Wabos. Don't start trying to recruit me. I'm just saying what happened, what's in my bloodline, what I saw in my bloodline. But my papa, he was like 4'10". But he was a man. In what I just explained earlier, they sabotaged the black male energy. They sabotaged us defending and protecting. They told us to defend our women were weak because that's what they want. They want us to not. They want open range on our women. They want open range on your children. They want Candace Owens to get on the Breakfast Club and basically say that she chose the white boy because he was more intelligent. Because using of the model that they use to always talk, who do they use to talk? On a conscious level, we're gonna get Umar Johnson, who is kind of a goofy. He is a goofy. You're gonna have like Lil Boosie, who is just screaming. You're gonna have people like Shannon Sharp. Now, this isn't who we are as a whole, but these are the examples of what it's like to be a successful black man. Am I right or wrong? And so in that, and most of the time, the white boy is looked at like who? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. When Tom Brady and Giselle was divorcing, did he get in the media and trash her? So in balance, right? If we want them, because okay, in this talking about this Diddy, it's all about the what? The representation. Same thing with like the short man. They always represent and present us in the same slanderous ways. But why didn't y'all have that protection energy when it was Kanye speaking up and saying, Kanye put it, whether you like Kanye West or not, he put his voice out there for the truth. Versus somebody who created his own hurricane and did it. He created that mess. So just like we saying how they use our images in the media, we got to be careful of how we use us. How you talk about your black women in the media. You niggas will get on TV and say white women are better. They love that. Because you are verbally putting their white supremacy. You are doing white supremacist work because you are saying this white woman is more supreme. Huh, O'Shea Duke Jackson? They use people like O'Shea Duke Jackson. Remember the video I was telling you about? Probably about four videos prior. When I think it's one, and I'm talking about if I either say, and if I did say Anton Daniels, I don't think I said Anton Daniels in the time. I think I said O'Shea Duke Jackson. But anyway, if I did, what I was talking about, it was aimed for O'Shea Duke Jackson, who, and I was saying he was talking about this whole high value man stuff. And the imagery that he used what the high value man aspires to as a gang of white women. And it was the image of beauty, right? It was no fat white women. It was no ratchet trailer park, because we got ratchet, they got trailer trash. We got ghetto, they got trailer trash. But the imagery he used in this video was high value men aspire. These are the type of women that winning black men aspire to, and they was all white women. Now think about what this doing to the mind and the perception of what we're supposed to do. And under what low value men aspire to was fat black women, skinny black women, ratchet looking black women. Images is power. Images are advertisement for the what? Mind. So when we understand, we're talking about we want to get media conscious when it's Diddy. When it's LeBron James. When it's R. Kelly. When it's whoever else. Sometimes they take them and they make them examples, and sometimes these are the beds that they have made for themselves. We love the wrong thing. Again, what does love look like? So I hope I made sense. I just wanted to, because that was burning in my mind, and sometimes what I'm learning to do, and remember way back in my videos when I used to say, I'm going to record more because I never really knew how I wanted to talk, right? If somebody finds inspiration in my words, I appreciate it. But I'm not setting out to do nothing particular. I'm vlogging my life, right? I'm vlogging my life. But how do we get out of our ways to experience love? That's another question. How do we get out of, and these are internal questions that we ask ourselves. What does love look like? What does cooperative? I don't really like to say submissive because I think it always reminds me of slave. But that's me. What does providing look like? Women say, I want a provider. Provide. What does providing look like? Because remember I said that's a booby trap. Y'all gotta watch. Because if he can financially provide, he also can mentally and spiritually neglect. So you got to be careful what you're asking. The devil is in the what? Details. Isn't that right, did it? The devil is in the details. But anyway, I hope I made sense, and I hope somebody can appreciate these words that I said. But think about it. Think about it. What's the image of that stuff? And what does it look like? I guess that's the question. I started with what does it look like? But peace.